everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry I had to delete my last video. It was in the current climate deemed politically incorrect. That's life. But before I start today, I will of course apologise in advance for anybody who might take offence. So if there's any Frenchmen, French women of course, Englishmen, English women, bird breeders, peasants, or any other group that might take offence, well, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I'll start by being a peasant. I'll tell thee of the Battle of Hastings, as were told in years long gone by, when Duke William became King of England and Harold got shot in the eye. That's Harold shot in the eye. Well, it was 1066 in October, and the Duke, who was always a toff, having no battles on in France at the time, had given his lads a day off. As they climbed in their boats to go fishing, a French chap whispered in Duke's ear, "Let's go put the breeze up them Saxons." Bill said, "That's a right good idea." So he turned round and called to his soldiers in his booming great loud Norman voice, "Hands up who's coming to England." That were rich, 'cause they hadn't a choice. Well, they set off round about tea time on a sea that was calm and quite still, and at 9:45 the next morning they arrived on the coast near Bexhill. When Harold saw as they'd landed, he stifled his anger and hate. He said, "Hey, if there's come here to see the regatta, just come here a fortnight too late." But Bill, brimming over with confidence, said, "Don't give me none of that cheek. Go get your throne reupholstered, 'cause I wants to sit in it next week." But when Harold heard this defiance, with rage he turned purple and blue. He shouted some swear words in Saxon, but Bill replied, "And you?" Well, they agreed to do battle at Hastings, and both sides stepped out with a will. And when all were duly assembled, they tossed for the top of the hill. 'Twere Harold who won the advantage, and on the hillside he took up his stand, with his knaves and his cads all around him, on his horse, with his hawk in his hand. But Normans had naught going for them. Their chances of victory were small, with the slope of the hillside agin them, and the wind in their faces and all. So the kick-off was sharp at 2:30, and as soon as that whistle had went, both sides started bashing the other, till the swinehers could hear them in Kent. Well, Harold had best line of forwards, all skilled with the buckler and sword, but Normans had best combinations, and at half time nobody had scored. So Bill called his cohorts around him and he said, "We'll pretend that we're beat, and when that lot comes down off the hillside, we'll swerve round and cut off their retreat." So they ran, and the Saxons ran after, exactly as William had planned, leaving Harold alone on the hilltop, on his horse, with his hawk in his hand. Well, when William see what had happened, his bow and his arrow he drew. He went straight up to Harold and shot him. He were offside, but what could they do? And the Normans, where are we? Hey, Normans, came back with a vengeance. They answered with parry and thrust. They took over most of that hillside, and you couldn't see Saxons for dust. And Harold died like an hero. He knew he was no longer king of the land, and he fell with an eye full of arrow from his horse, with his hawk in his hand. Okay, and that's the truth of it. That's how it really happened.